Welcome back everyone. I've finally finished the Factions plugin, which is what I want to show you today. But before I do that, I have to inform you that the beta release for my non-pay-to-win faction server will be this Friday. You can join the Discord for more information, link will be down in the description. I'll include a link to the previous video since this video builds off things I already covered in that one. And if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section. Now let's begin. Alright, the first two major changes I made since last time is first, I'm actually making sure that the player is not going to be able to make a sky base. So to do this, I'm making sure at least 3/4 of the blocks below the player are present and 3/4 of the blocks above the player are not present. So basically making sure that it's air above the player and also making sure the player's on flat ground. If you look right here though, it does not have to be exactly like this. This is just because I use rolled edit. It can also be a lot flatter because I said 3/4. And it's about 9x9 chunks area, which is definitely a lot more than 9x9. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good like this. So also to help prevent people making sky bases and just trying to glitch the system. So yeah, I think if you go to like a plains biome, you can actually pretty much make a base without having to do any work at all. But you could also just excavate out a bit. It's gonna be still a lot less work than normal factions. And then the second thing that I did is I made the base work in any direction. So if you do look right here and I do touch F base, you can see the menu which I showed last time, and I click right here and now it's going to say, would you like to make your base face east? And if I did, it would say south. This one would say west, north, and so on. So I made your base work in any direction, which is perfect. So let's go here and we can click the base right here. So we can click it, type in confirm, and boom. Just like that, you can look on our chunk borders here, and you can't break any of this stuff here, but you can obviously still break inside your base. And just like that, it's perfect. So if we come out here and look at the base, it's obviously going to be perfectly centered every single time. And one of the hard struggles that I was working with here is making it work firstly in all directions. This one wasn't an issue, but the other bases were a little bit more of an issue. Like if I do, let's go to level 2. Look right here, how the entrance right here is always going to be facing the direction you're looking at. And the entrances slowly reduce as you go up because less entrances means less places for the enemies to get into, which is kind of good, which is why you want to have your base aiming the way you want it because you won't be able to change it later on. So make sure you guys pick the direction you want your base to go in to begin with. Now, some of the major struggles that we're working with this was actually make it work in all directions because I have to rotate this perfectly. And another big pain, if you come in here, we can see that this is 16x16 blocks, which means there's no center block. So the center block will look more just like this. It'll be a group of 2 blocks. Which means when you rotate it, let's say I have this be the center block, because the way I do it, I have the top right block be the center block. Now if we're facing north instead, this block, let me just change it to like a different color block right here so you can understand what I'm saying. So right here, this will be the block right here, because I'm saving the top right block when the player makes their base. And I'm saving that to the map, because that's also going to be the F home, which I created. And then, but let's say you want to make your base north. Instead, it'll be this direction, which means when you paste the base in, when you paste this base in using fast async world edit, which doesn't create any lag, it's going to be 1 block off. So I had to figure out how to compensate that for all 4 directions. Another big pain is if we go into F3, we can see that there's negative and positive coordinates, which also creates another big hurdle because if you paste it in negative versus positive, it's going to do different things. And if it's even off by a block, it's going to screw everything up. Because if we go over here and look, we can't break the walls because that would be game breaking, obviously. And you can't break the ceiling, but you can break all the blocks inside. And the way I had to do this was, I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but I had to create my own chunk system. This had to be a 4x4 chunk system to create this perfectly. But even if it's off by a single block, then the whole system's not going to work. It's going to break down. So there's definitely a ton of bug testing that I had to do with this. And it was a big pain to get it work in all directions, negative and positive, as well as the tier system, which I'm about to show you in a second here. So let's level up here and I can show you the actual tier system. Okay, this is the tier menu actually right here, but you can't actually use it at level 2. You have to wait to your base level 3 before you can start using tier. And also, if you notice right here, it says requires faction members and materials. I showed some of that in that previous video, but basically I have the faction member disabled right now because I'm just a solo trying to show it off. But normally this one you can do with 1, then 5, 10, 15 players in the faction. And it does require materials, but I just added them into the config. I just typed them in because I'm not going to sit here adding all the materials in when I want to show you off some stuff. But yeah, you will have to do that. Anyways, let's go to base level 3 here. So you click that, type in confirm. Only co-leaders and leaders can confirm it. And boom, here's level 3 base. As you can see, this is going to have the 2 entrances like this. And, you know, it still carries on the same thing because you have to have it correctly orientated, which is, again, big pain. And anyway, so here's level 3 base. So you might want to know what the tier system is going to be like, and it's pretty cool in my opinion. If you saw on the F base, it says you can use, this one allows you to use internal blazes level 2, which means you can actually place blaze spawners inside your base. You can place blaze spawners outside your base as well, but I mean, that's not as a good idea, I guess. But right here, internal cow spawners, I don't really know why I did the cow spawners, but I guess I did. Well. But the whole cool thing right here is the external creeper spawners, and right here the external iron golem spawners. So right here you can't place creeper spawners inside your base until you get to level 4, but you can get external creeper spawners. So this was a really cool system, and again, all the struggles I had previously with the bases and the rotating and flipping was just magnified from this whole system here. So if you look right here, it costs 150,000 per spawner room, and it doesn't take much materials at all. It gives you an external creeper spawner. So let's click that and let's watch this. This is pretty sick. Boom, just like that. And it works perfectly all 4 corners. So the way I do it is this is spawner room number 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you look the way your base is supposed to be facing, 1, then the left 2, then right back 3, and then 4. And the reason why we need to have it labeled is if we go to -F base here, -F tier, and we click right here, it's going to say you want to get another faction room. But if we click the previous one we've already bought, it gives us a whole new menu here. This whole new menu is going to allow us to upgrade our spawners to get more mob drops out of it. So instead of multiplying the amount of spawners in this room and just basically making it a big pain, I'm going to be making it the one spawner drop more items. And I also had to create a whole different event for this system that works in all 4 corners, which also remembers which side, well, not which side, but remembers which corner is to which level. And like I said, it's going to be changing depending on the direction. So this is a big pain to get working. But essentially, you can go here and, oh, you saw that gunpowder just dropped? So when a creeper spawns or an iron golem spawns in this room, it will instantly die and drop all the materials into the hoppers, which will be filled up here. So this is going to be dropping like one at a time, so it's going to be pretty slow, which is why we can upgrade it. And this same system does not work anywhere else in the world, only right here. So only right here will you have them automatically die. If you have them here, they're still going to operate the same. And the only reason why I did this is because I don't have enough space, and I think it's a pretty cool system. Because obviously, like I said, you can't break this, can't break these walls. And here you still can place, and it also saves your previous work you build in here. So let's give it a upgrade. So, oh my, I keep doing that. F here. Let's go here, and I also made a back button right there, which is pretty cool. So, and then also it shows up as a pane right there, and I have it just changed to level 2, just so you know what it's like. And it gradually increases the monetary cost of everything like this, because like this one's going to be 8 times drops now, and obviously that's going to be starting to get pretty good. And then up to 1.6, and I also have a carryover. So this is one thing that I didn't originally have, but I wanted to, that's why I delayed the video, because I wanted to add this feature, because it would honestly be a big pain if this gets deleted when you go to base level 4, which is what I fixed now. So when you go to base level 4, you will keep your creeper spawners and all its upgrades. So that's awesome. So let's wait for one of these things to die, and it should be dropping about a half a stack of gunpowder per death. And we do have the AFK rate set to 48 by 48, so you should be able to AFK in here, and it should AFK all the mob spawners around it. So let's go in here and check it. So now we can see it's going to start racking up gunpowder a lot quicker now, because this is going to be doing 32 by 32, so half stacks of gunpowder, which is perfect. So while that's cooking, let's go over here and type the F tier here, and you can confirm this one, and boom, just like that. Places perfectly like that, and it says in the chat with your whole faction can see it, all these different messages right here. CloneLTaps has upgraded your faction's tier to level 2. And if you do -F who, and check right here, it says our faction tier as well as our faction level. So faction tier level 2, which means we have 2 of these spawner rooms, our land, our power. I'll talk about the power system and everything like that later, because I got that recently hooked up. So this will start generating pretty good. So it's basically like having 2 stacks of creeper spawners in this one base area. And when you go to the base level 4, you can put more creeper spawners inside your base. And also, I will have canning enabled everywhere but in here, because you might be wondering how you're supposed to blow stuff up in here and raid it. It acts similar to HCF here, but you can blow up things outside of these claims. So like regular claims, if you go out here and do -F claim, these claims can be blown up with TNT. You can raid it, so people are making derps. You can make cannons, blow it up. It's just like normal factions like that. But right here, TNT, sand, everything like that, it's not going to be able to work in here. I mean, sand can work in here, but you can't shoot sand in here. It's not going to allow the entity to stack. And also do piston checks in here because I don't want pistons to be able to push the walls down and other stupid messes like that. Anyways, let's get the next tier upgrade. Right now I don't have the spawner radius set to the 48 by 48 just because I don't have the updated jar on this test server because we're working on getting the actual dedicated server set up right now. Which is, I'll probably make another video actually. Oh, what am I doing? I'm making another video probably later this week before the beta just so I can show you the everything else. Okay, so right here we have all 4 spawner rooms set up just like this. And before you go to faction level 4, I don't think I have it said here in the requirements, but I should also specify, that would be very easy since it's just adding an extra line of text. I should specify that it requires your faction base level 3 to have all 4 tiers. So we won't be able to click the base level 4 until we have this level 3 base fully tiered up. So if you look right here, who? Faction tier 4, faction level 3. This means now we can level up and also our claims changed right there. This one's just going to be very, very slow considering this is the only good one that's going to be start pretty speedy. Alright, now let's go to base level 4. Really quickly, let me add some of these logs in here quickly. I'll be right back. Alright, the reason for this is just to show you that when I save, when you may go to the next base level, it's not going to create any issues with your actual base because this is going to simulate everything you build inside your base and it'll show you that it does save. And I also made it deeper down because base level 4 is just going to be a little bit more expanded. You'll see right here in a second. So let's go base level 4 and this one's going to be pretty cool. Ready for this? Boom. Look at that. And just like that, it makes it perfectly like this, as well as right here, saves all of our blocks just like this. You can see our outline right here. It's nothing has changed. And I also, your expansion changes. So I remember I fixed the amount of area you can break stuff in. You can also break these if you want to. You can break these windowsills, but it doesn't really matter. But you can't break the actual wall. You can't break the actual wall. You can break in here if you want to, but you can't go out here and break this. But you can open these, and I think you've already saw this, but it's pretty cool. Just look at this. And you can also open doors, everything like that. And here are your creeper rooms. See, they're still here. So this is going to be your level 1, then level 2, level 3, level 4. And then you can also now get IG rooms. So first let's go over here and check. This should be dropping fat stacks. And the other one should be dropping pretty much nothing. While we're waiting for it to drop, let's look in here. So we can go to the base tier menu, and now we also get iron golem heads, as well as the creeper room heads. So the iron golems definitely produce a lot more iron, considering I think they drop about 2 per. The creepers only drop 1. Also during the beta test, we are going to also want to test the economy and balance it. So subject to change, the different monetary values in here could change depending. But this one's going to be dropping only 1, so it's going to be pretty pitiful. You can see right there, right here, we're only going to see 1 in here. Oh, so that's not going to do it, is it? But this one's over here is going to be cranking. Yeah, there's already 1.5 stacks here. So let's go over here and type in -f tier. And let's get the spawner room number 1 here. Let's go. Boom, just like that. And it's going to paste 10 blocks from the tower here, from right here. So let's test that. Yep, 10 blocks. And this is probably the hardest room to set up because you have to do it right here. And then another one is going to be down there. And then boom, boom. So 1, 2, 3, 4 IG rooms. That's how they count. And this one was even worse than level 3 base because when you rotate it, these ones are not going to be always in the corner. So it means I had to create a different system for this. I had to create 2 spawner rooms that I can paste in, not 2 spawner rooms, 2 sets of spawner rooms, 2 sets of 4. I can paste in depending north and south, east and west, and have to rotate them accordingly to your base positioning. Because the way I do it is I get the base position, way they're facing, so the direction, as well as the block coordinates, and then I can do some math calculations to check where the different iron golems and creeper spawners are in relations to the center block in here. And based on that, we can determine what level it is, everything like that. So that's a pretty nice way of doing it. And you look right here at level 2, it's going to be pretty pitiful. It's only be dropping 2 per death. And right here, it saves your upgrades, you can see. These ones are all level 1 because we never upgraded these. Still level 6. right here, and then we haven't bought that one yet, but this one's still level 0. So let's go over here and upgrade this one. We don't have to upgrade it first before we get the next spawn room, but I'm just doing it right now just so I can show you how it works. And this is, you're going to be rolling in some dough after you're doing this. And then we also have a shop right here. As you can see, AH, we're going to show all that in the next video though. And the hoppers carry 4 items per round, and I think it goes about 15, I think every 15 ticks, which is less than a second. 20 ticks per second. So this one should be dropping about a stack of iron per death. We also obviously already had the 4 in there. I guess because 2 deaths happened before I had a chance to max the upgrade out. And so let's let for an iron golem die here. And the radius is still going to be 48 by 48 in here. I just haven't got that set up on this exact test server yet. But as you can see right here, our calculations are still going up. And I mean, everything else still works in here. Enchanter, boom. And yeah, we're just going to keep rolling in the iron. Now we go over here. Let's watch these ones work now. Left here. Let's get spawn room number 2. Just like that. And you can see how that works perfectly. No glitches here. Let's go over here. Let's watch this one. Watch both of these at the same time, actually. Boom. Boom, just like that. Check the TPS. No lag at all. Still 2020. 2020. So yeah, we're still cooking here. It's perfect. Check right here. An iron golem just died, but it's going to drop 2 iron because it's level 1. Show you that it's not busted. The system does work. Didn't fail all the math calculations here. Alright, so 2. And then, yeah. So everything's working perfectly fine. And let me show you the last thing I've done to the faction. Also, if you guys are wondering where the hearts are at underneath the player's name, like I've had in the last video, it's still there. We just have it's conflicting with other plugins, so we're going to get that fixed pretty soon. But yeah, don't worry about that. And also, if you want to know about the custom enchant plugin, you can look in the playlist. I'll have that link in the description for my factions playlist if you want to learn about the custom enchant plugin that I coded up and how it's going to be a lot different than the normal custom enchant plugin that normal people have on their servers. So yeah, you can read about that. Anyways, let's do -F2, and this is obviously a different faction here, but I want to hop in here and show you how the whole system's set up here. As you can see here, I also added these hoverable names, which is pretty cool. And it shows their player's name, their role, their balance, their power versus max power, and their last login. And then the power system right here, it goes up in 20. If you can see here, when players join the server, they get 10 power every 20 minutes. Okay, so let me just specify this. The power system probably will need some tweaking, which is probably something we can test out in the beta. But essentially right now, the max power you can get is 20, and it can go into the negatives. And every 20 minutes, your power goes up to 5, goes up by 5. Assuming your power is below 20, and if you're like 19 power, you're only going to get 1 power. But yeah, you get what I'm saying here. And then obviously, not obviously, but also that the faction land here, I think I showed this though already in the last video, but it goes up by 5 every single time. So at base level 4, you have 25 faction claims, which is not counting your base claim, which is perfect. And the way I have the power loss system is if you die in your base claim, if you die in your own land, then you're going to be losing 5. You're going to be not 5. You're going to be losing 12 power if you die in your base claim or your faction lane claim, which is a lot of power. But if you die inside, let's say, someone else's claim or wilderness, you'll lose only about 7 power. And if you die in Warzone, you're going to lose 2 power. So death does come with power loss, which means you want to be wary of that, which also may help people who are just running around just trying to be nakeds, being weird. But it will also, 2 power loss is not like the end of the world, right? But you do have to want to be cautious of that a bit. And also, it's going to encourage people to fight people more in their claims, because normally you fight someone in their claim, you're just going to get absolutely rolled. We don't have the 20% damage reduction, so that's going to be good. But also, when you're fighting your claim, you get that good bonus, because you can place blocks and other people can't. But on the other side, you're going to lose more power if you die, which is going to be helpful for overclaiming. So the way I'm doing the overclaiming is if you get to 50% power, then you get to become overclaimed. So obviously right here, if I get dropped down to 20 power, so if I die twice in my claim, then I'll drop down to 10 power. Not 10 power, I'll drop down to 20 power. Well, I'll be less than 20 power. But if you're below 20 power as well, then you're still going to have issues. Anyways, let me show you right here real quickly. go right here, trash game mode, survival, and show you how the raidable system works. Go over here and show you that I can't break blocks, I can't place blocks because I'm in a different faction. Just like this, it's not gonna let me do that. Place blocks. Also, you can't open chests in another faction, so you can't take their loot. It's not gonna let you do that, which is exactly what we want. While the other faction, while the faction that actually made the base can't open the chests, so this is gonna be pretty cool because if you want to sell your iron, you actually have to go out here and put yourself in harm's way, which may allow other people to try to fight you. So this is why some good factions may want to put their base near war zone so that they can use it as kind of like a safe zone, considering you don't have a lot of claims. But maybe some factions who are not as hardcore PvPers will put it out in the middle of nowhere, which means they're going to be more safe and they don't have to deal with as much enemies at their doors. Anyways, let's go over here and kill them right quickly here. And if you check on our player count here, and okay, that's amazing. Anyways, well, we're not going to deal with that right now. So if you look at F map here, did he die in his claim? No, he didn't. But I think he just died twice and out of claim, so you're losing 14 power, so it should be at 6 power. F2, CloneLTaps. And yeah, 6 power because he died 2 times out of claim, considering he just got spawn trapped because I guess I'm just testing stuff and the spawn got screwed over here. But yeah, that means he's past 10, or he's 10 or less, so which means you should be raidable here. Is there anything worthy in there? No, it doesn't matter if that gets despawned. Anyways, you still can't place blocks just like normal, but you can. Boom, look at that. Now you can start opening stuff. Alright, and now we can also go over here to the ores and take out all the iron here. Go to /shop, and and if we right click here, we can sell it. So let's add a stack here. And boom, now we can sell the iron, get money. Obviously, you don't really need money here because I just edited in all the money for myself so I can make these bases. But yeah, we can go in here now. We can break blocks just like normal, but we can't break these blocks because you're still the same restrictions everyone else has, the whole player bases. But you can now place here and take everyone's spawners in here. You can't mine these spawners, so these ones are safe. So this is a good investment for your money because these ones are safe. But everything you put in here, you can be stolen, so got to be careful for that. Last thing I made is the F map. The way what I changed here, if you haven't seen the last video, check that out because I can show you how I made the map rotate depending on the direction you're looking. So if you're looking east, it's gonna look like that. But if you look what is the south? F map. It's gonna look this way. So it's gonna look differently, and it's always gonna orientate you the way you would think the map is looking here. So if I go forward, I'll go this way. Left, that way, right, back way. So instead of having like the north, south, east, west thing, yeah, I just have it so you can just go the direction that your map is facing. Because I want it to rotate. If I do -F map here, now I walk straight. I'll be walking away. If I want to go to this claim, I have to go like right and down, obviously. And I also changed the color. So if you're standing in enemy's claims, just basically not your claims, someone else's claims, it's going to show up red as well as in Warzone. But it's going to be dark red, so it's going to stand out, give it some contrast. If you're out in wilderness like this, it's going to be yellow. And let's go see what it looks like in our claim. So if you look right there, you can just pinpoint it pretty easily. I don't know exactly where it's at. Probably somewhere like over here. Oh, I got it perfectly. Okay, nice. And it's going to be dark green now, which means you're in your own claim. Which is the reason why I made this change, is because there's not really a lot of room for error. And it doesn't really specify it. So right here, it says Clone Army right here. And there's me. But if I go over here, F map, and boom, now it's dark green. Yeah, it means I'm in my claim since I'm going to be covering it up, obviously. So yeah, everything like that's working perfectly fine. Hoverable names, everything like that, working. You can also F-who a name. -F-who is someone's name, like YTF, shows up there. Or you can do -F show Atomic, which is the other faction, and it's going to show up everything like that. And yeah.